What is going on, guys, and welcome back to Farmer on the Prairie. So today we are sorting all of these steers, heifers, and cows that will not be calving until this fall. We're moving them all out from the barn, and we are moving them across the railroad tracks, because as many of you know, there's a railroad tracks that goes through the middle of our farm, and it makes it really hard to do calving season because the calves don't get the concept of when we move them across the railroad tracks, and it always creates a giant mess. So we try and keep them on one side of the railroad tracks until they're old enough to cross. So we run the herd as small as possible to not run out of pasture, and it's just the mamas and babies in the herd, and that is it. So there's only about 30 cattle instead of 70. So we're gonna start out by sorting off all the animals and then letting them out to pasture. They're getting very large with calf, so it takes one arm to make it over her back, and she's very short. It's time to get them in a pasture where it's safe for them to calve. Down. They're about ready to get let out. They're all ready to start eating their grass and fattening themselves up. Now we've just got to move them out across the railroad tracks. This pasture right here is a little bit beat up and needs rejuvenated before anybody grazes it. We already ran the airway through it and we already drilled it. It's just going to take some time to come back to life. So we're now going to take the Can-Am out to the railroad crossing and set up the fences for these cattle to cross. Hopefully no trains come. There's a lot of downsides to having railroad tracks through your farm, but it's really hard to move cattle across. So, you know, open this gate up right here and head on down the field lane. So here we go again. Can you feel it? All right, on our way. So we are out here at the railroad crossing now. We've got some reels over here that I just need to bring across the railroad tracks. Dad, a couple years ago, went and put in some semi-permanent steel T-post on the railroad's property through the gravel. Makes it a little bit easier. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and get all these set up, and then should be ready for the cattle when they get down here in a couple minutes. Would you just look at that sunset? Never gets old. A few minutes ago the sky was completely red. Well, I've gone ahead and set up all the fences across the railroad tracks. The signal right now that directs trains is dead. So that means that there are no trains within like 3 or 4 miles. I think it's 4 miles. So now we're just waiting on them to finish pushing the cows through, and then we'll take it all back down. think the cows are a few hundred yards away. Well, actually, I should say steers and heifers because there's no cows. I know you can hardly see because it's almost dark, but the cattle just rolled in. Now I just got to cross the railroad tracks. Come on, come on. And they're crossed. Today we're letting out all the cows that are going to calve in a few weeks. So they are going to stay on the west side of the railroad tracks. So we wanted to keep the number as small as possible so we would not have to move them across. Go, Gracie. We're gonna get the Defender and some supplies and then take them down along the railroad tracks to the southern pasture. Once they make it down there, then they're going to start being moved daily to fresh grass like we do in the summertime. Come on, girls, let's move. Come on. Come on. Hey, girly. Hey. It's time to move. Move along. They're all distracted by the bull and the milk cow over there. And away they go. And now we gotta walk them a half mile down to the other pasture. The reason we have a Defender that we use, a Can-Am Defender, is because we, in the summertime, are always using that. We've got it full of fences. We usually pull the mineral feeder with it, sometimes the cattle rub. It's just a lot of different things that it does on the farm. It's really handy to run around. You don't care about getting it dirty or anything, so it's really nice. Dad's driving it right now full of fences with the mineral feeder. And it also seats 4 people, or you can have a person hang on like this. They're not quite so frisky anymore because they're great with calf. Kind of catching up to them now. Come on, girl. Come on. We have now made it out to the pasture where the cattle will be grazing over the next few days. Like I said, they get moved every day. This group will probably stay in here a little bit longer than a day because this area cannot really be divided up because of where the water is. So therefore, we have to let them here a couple days. Don't start moving them every day. The reason we have pastures so many different places on our farm is we took all of our very poor land that would have not been profitable to farm or highly erodible and just turned it into pasture for our cattle. So now we're letting the couple-year-old steers in with the 1-year-old calves.
Calves are coming.
Come on, guys. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, it's plenty muddy out here. We've got all the yearlings and steers and heifers on one side, and then we have all the first calf heifers or heifers that are going to calve and our cows on the other side. Now we're gonna go grab the mineral feeder for the group with the steers in it. Don't show this part, Mom. I'll be on you about riding. Okay, the steers now have their mineral feeder. That is all for today's video. We're gonna drive home, and I will see y'all in the next one. Dun, dun, dun. That one's going in the video. And again, okay, let's forget that.
I just hung it up there so it worked all.
Oh, there.
And Seth gets the job of collecting string.
That last one hit me in the thumbnail. Haha.
Ah, the thumbnail.
It seriously did.
When you buy a Can-Am Defender, it comes with a free
Bucket seat.
bucket seat. Literally. Not a bucket seat like in a Yukon, a bucket seat. Like a sloth and just hang here the rest of my life.
No, you need to go.
Never make another video again.
Hook your legs and then do
I can't do that. It hurts.
or whatever you call it.
I don't have
For
fat
what?
legs to protect my muscles.